Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week I checked out American Samurai, and this is the 2023 version and not the 1992 version, so don't be confused. And with this one, it is directed by Nathan Willard and stars Rosa Fortuny, Larkin Hastings, and William Hollows, among others, of course. The story of this movie takes place in a world where all of the tech billionaires have moved into outer space and let everyone just be kind of rabble on Earth. So everything just kind of falls apart on Earth. And it follows this story of these two female samurai, and they're just trying to make their life, do hunting and defeating bandits or whatnot. And then one day there's this robot samurai that gets sent down from the tech billionaires and has like a laser focus on these two samurais. So they have to, try to defeat it, and can't even go back to their own encampment, or else the robot will follow them back there. And so they, have to go on the run and try to defeat this robot samurai. They might even be able to move into outer space if they have the right space tickets or something. Anyways, what will happen exactly? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. So what works with it? Well, first of all, I gotta say with this low budget film, it's a lot better than I ever imagined it would be. It still has its problems though, but just because of its low budget and it's, people walking around in the forest, it does a good job with what it's got. And everything that goes into it, you can tell there is quite a bit of care and dedication that goes into it. For example, the story I thought was kind of really thoughtful and really interesting, and had many different kind of like working parts around it and stuff like that. So all of that really works. I thought all of the lighting, it's all natural lighting, but it's all really well done. Like they've picked the right angles at the right time to really kind of work with what they, have at that moment. And so that's all really good. The quality of the music and the sound is really good. The music just kind of like gets you really involved in the story. And so even though it's a low budget, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this one that makes it better than it really deserves to be. In addition, I gotta talk about the story a little bit. I thought it was so engaging and so interesting. It just has lots of like different kind of moving parts in it. They have this robot samurai always trying to track them down, and because of that, they can't go back to their base. And then they have this whole thing with like tickets to the space station and how that kind of not motivates the characters, but gives them to something to, aim for and to work towards. And they also have like kind of exposition dumps here or there with like AI generated like little shorts or whatever, which is fine. Like for their budget, why not? It certainly works. So there's lots of different kind of moving pieces. They also have this like relationship between the two samurais that started, when they were children, or at least when one of them was children. And so that was certainly all well and good. So a lot of the story, I would say, is really engaging and really does suck you into this one. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this one. Well, with this one, I gotta say, this is like a B movie through and through. Like, there's so many just little kind of things that go into it that just make it, not a serious film. For example, the, fight cinematography, or sorry, choreography is terrible. Like, it's this, everyone gets hit with one, touch of a sword. And even then, like, swords barely touch another sword. It's always just like very quickly just hit their leg and they die or whatever. And so certainly the fight scenes are nothing to write home about. And that adds to kind of that B movie quality, where they're not looking to spend 20 minutes on a fight scene. They're looking to get it over as quickly as possible, because that's not kind of what they're there for. And so yeah, it's just things like that just make it into like a real B movie, and I enjoyed that part of it. But I can imagine with kind of B movies, it does require a certain kind of taste to these things. And I certainly have that one. It's certainly not for everyone. And we'll certainly talk about more of the B qualities to it. And another thing that makes it a B movie is some of the dialogue is just so kind of corny or sappy. Like, for example, there's the two samurais, and they're talking to each other. And one of them is saying that she read this book to her child like every night for who knows how many years. And then the next thing she says is, I forget the title though. And you're just like, wait, you read this book for like years on end and you forgot the title. And it's just kind of, I don't know, sappy and corny lines that way that I think have kind of this B-movie charm to it that shows that they're just kind of like saying things at some points. It certainly adds to the characters, but man, like just things like that. Like, you forgot the title of the book, and I just like burst out laughing. So there's quite a few lines where this doesn't kind of match up to what they're saying or their characters, but overall, that's that part of that B-movie charm that I enjoy. Also, as you go into this one, there's more B-movie things that you'll notice. For example, the main character carries all her bows and arrows and swords in the most awkward way possible. She gets it done, but at the same time, she's like carrying like a quiver of arrows like in her arms, like under her arm there. Same with the sword, and she's carrying the bow just like out to the side, and you're just like, there's so many better ways of like fitting those things onto your body that just work for like a real samurai. And then when they're shooting the bows, like the main character like shoots it like way up here, like nowhere near her face, and I'm just like, that's not going to be good for a samurai to do that. Like, how are you aiming that at that point? And so there's just a lot of things that would be, you know, accomplished in pre-filming for this one. So there's just so many things that they don't think about, and all of that just goes into it to kind of make this B movie that a lot of people will look at it to see it's, you know, not the most professional thing, and certainly, you know, that's part of the charm to it. And so yeah, just a lot of just awkward kind of things that go into it. And the last thing I'll say with this one that doesn't work is certainly a choice that they've made in this film, and that is that they have these like two competing kind of timelines. They have, you know, the main timeline, and then they have one 20 years in the past where the samurais first meet, and it turns out like the older samurai kind of rescues the younger samurai after they're orphaned, but they've chosen the same actress that plays the younger samurai in the current timeline to be the older samurai in the past timeline. And so you're just watching it and you just be like, wait a second, like what's going on? Who is this? And then I guess it's supposed to be that older samurai like grew into who she is now, and then the young child grew into exactly who the old samurai was. I don't know. It's just a very interesting choice. One that I don't think particularly works overall, but one that they've made, and you know, it certainly adds to that B-movie quality where it's not a perfect movie by any standards. And I don't know, it's just that all of the kind of things like that that go into it that make it not the best, certainly I think add to at least my enjoyment. And as for my recommendation, well, if you're a fan of this channel, you know we will like lots of B movies in this one. And I think that this one hits above its weight class, especially kind of with its low budget and then, you know, all of its kind of errors. I would just say it's an enjoyable B movie. So like it has all the qualities that you like about B movies, all of the, I don't want to say mistakes, but all of the things that aren't quite planned out or the things that aren't quite polished. It is certainly kind of a rough inside of a gem. Is that the expression? No, a diamond in the rough. I would say that this one's more like the rough itself. Like you have to buy the rough, right, to get any diamonds. So it's just one of those ones where I gotta say I enjoyed it. So if you've, you know, like the movies that I like, if you like these B movie ones, then check this one out. I did watch it on Tubi, so you can go over there and press play. As for a rating, well, with this one, I'll give it the above average of 6. It certainly is way better than it has any right to be. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.